Okay, so I wanted to do a tutorial video that shows you how to download it and install and use brushes that are created for Illustrator. So one thing that you need to do is make sure that you are searching in Google for Illustrator brushes, because there's a lot of different brushes for Procreate and other software that won't work in Illustrator. And then make sure that it's going to work for your particular operating system. Usually if it's CC or higher, then it'll work with CC or higher, but sometimes like CS6 stuff won't work very well, so just be aware of that, or it won't be high enough resolution. So all of these brushes that I have found, I've downloaded, and I wanted to show you that first. The majority of ways of installing them that I'm going to show you in this tutorial video will work, but if not, you should definitely look around that place where you downloaded it, because it might have instructions there or like a README file or anything like that. So these are the 3 sets of brushes that I downloaded, and the first one I wanted to show you was the Spray and Hatch Illustrator brushes. So again, you see the CC or CS6. So we're going to go with CC since I am on whatever Creative Cloud, Adobe Illustrator 2022. There's always this README file, and that usually has instructions in it. So I'm going to go ahead and open this AI file. And this is going to show me a preview of all the brushes that have been applied to the stroke. And how I use those is I'm going to create a stroke. So I'll just use my paintbrush here. And then whatever the last one was, it will apply. And to change that, I'm going to click on that stroke, open up the brushes panel, and then I'll just choose the different brushes that I see here to see which one I'm going to need. And if I want to increase that, I can increase it. If I want to change the color of it, and I'll just make a garish one real quick, then I can do that as well. And I can do that with this one because this is just basic black and white brushes. All right, so what happens though, this is it. I just opened this as its own AI file, so this is great for this, but what happens if you already have artwork? Well, pretend that I opened this document and it had a bunch of artwork and I wanted to apply a brush to some of it. What I need to do in order to install brushes into already created artwork is in the brushes panel, there's this library button at the bottom. And I'm going to click on it, and it's going to ask me if I want to upload another library. All of these libraries are libraries that come with Illustrator, so you can definitely check through those. Like this is decorative banners and seals. So if I were to, again, use a paintbrush and draw a stroke, I can come up here and apply these banners. Sometimes they work good and sometimes they work really funky, but that one actually looks really good. So how do I add in the brushes I downloaded? Well, you can see I already have done it here, and once you've uploaded them into it, you can always choose them this way. And all I did was I clicked Other Library, and then I found that folder where all of those live. So let me dig into that real quick. And I came over here and I chose the file with the brushes. So I would choose this file, this AI file, or this AI file to upload it. You can see sometimes they don't do it correctly. They didn't build the brushes correctly. So this one doesn't have an extension, so the computer doesn't know how to open it. But because I know these are Illustrator brushes, then I can click on it and open it through Illustrator, and it should work. So once I do that, now you can see there are doodle lines by Mel's brushes. You can see there's the rodeo brushes as well. And I can go left and right through those libraries and apply them. So I'm going to click on that stroke and apply that brush, and again I can increase it and I can change the color if I want to, but I'll go ahead and choose, where's my favorite one? I like these little dots. So there I was able to add those brushes into a page I had already created. So I wanted to show you the ropes one, because the ropes one is a little bit interesting because it's really detailed. And when you open the AI file, it actually explains to you how to use it. So again, look for those README files, open the AI file, see if they have notes in there. And it's telling you that these ones are already colored and the last 2 are just black and white, so you would be able to color those. So when you're using the brush, another thing to show you is that brushes, when they are created, if I open, I just double clicked on one of them. This is saying this is what a left corner looks like. This is what a straight piece looks like. This is what an inner corner looks like, and then a start tile and an end tile. So that's how they make the actual, so it can have a continuous look to it, is by doing this illustration, having this broken up illustration in each of these tiles, which means you can actually create your own brush. You can do it by creating those pieces and then doing new brush here and then putting each of those pieces into those 5 tiles. But the thing I wanted to show you is if I come over here and I start writing my name, so I'm just gonna write like I would normally sign it, and I'm gonna put my S's, and there you go. So you can see that this has applied to it, and these are multicolors, so they can't be changed. But again, if you did these black and white ones, you would be able to change that as you see fit. But if I zoom in on this, you can see that there's weird things. See how this just abruptly ends, and then this has an abrupt weirdness, and this too, and then you can see this stretched out here. So one thing to do is, instead of just having those sharp points, I'm going to go ahead and, where's my paintbrush? I am going to, let's just make this black, and I'm going to make it a normal brush for right now. All right, so when I write my name, I am going to instead make big loops where normally I would create sharp points. So right here is a bigger loop, and right here is a bigger loop, and then I'll hold that out. And now if I click on this and put the rope, it looks a little bit better where those loops happen, and you can see the start point and the end point look a little bit different. So I could come and adjust each one of these. So let's say I wanted this to be a little less, see how it's funky right there? So I'm going to pull that out and start adjusting these anchor points and get it just the way I want it. And same thing here, that's a little bit too much. That E needs some help right there. So we're gonna, ooh, see? Golly. Well, I'm just making it worse, but well, we're gonna do this. But anyway, the point is that even if you've added artwork to a stroke from one of these custom brushes, you can change it after the fact, but you might need to adapt how you normally would do it so it does look right. So if there's a brush that you download, again, that for some reason you can't install or it's not working, Google it, look on the page, see if there's instructions. And if it doesn't work, don't spend a ton of time on it. Find a different brush, because there's a ton of brushes out there. And I bet you there's a ton of actually like rope brushes. So if this one hadn't have worked, I would have looked for another one.